Hey guys, LevelCap here. Today we're going to be looking at the Suros regime auto rifle in Destiny. This is an exotic auto rifle. Xur was selling it last weekend, and if you are fortunate enough to have 23 strange coins to buy it from him, then you are one of the lucky few who are able to obtain one of the best auto rifles in the game. Opening up this gun to check out the modifiers, we can see exactly why it's so good, and thanks to Reddit user Andy411, we actually have stats now for each of these stat modifier bubbles, rather than just a generic description saying, oh, it makes the gun more accurate or it makes the gun do more damage. We now know how much more damage or how much more accurate. The first barrel modifier we have is called Field Choke. This is going to increase your damage by 5%. It's going to increase your range by 12 points, and you can just imagine that little range slider there being from 0 to 100, so it looks like it's increasing your range significantly. It's going to reduce your stability by a factor of 15 points. The next one down is Linear Compensator. This is also going to increase your damage by 5%. It's only going to increase your range by a factor of 5, and it's only going to reduce your stability by a factor of 10. So a little bit less range than the Field Choke and a little bit better stability. And I shouldn't really use the term factor when talking about these points because we don't actually know if they're multiplying the effectiveness or ineffectiveness of a weapon by a certain percentage. We just know that they're numbers that mean something in Destiny. Hopefully someday soon we'll figure out what 10 points of range actually means for a certain weapons class. And the last barrel modifier is Smart Drift Control, which increases your stability by 20 points and it reduces your range by 15 points. So if you're having a hard time controlling the recoil on this weapon, then you can try that one. Personally, I really like the Field Choke. I like the increased damage and the increased range, and I have no problem controlling the stability of this weapon. The next non-optional upgrade is called Focused Fire. This reduces your rate of fire and increases your damage, and I tested it out in game. It increases your damage per shot by a factor of 40%. So if you're using a Field Choke and then you unlock Focused Fire, you're automatically doing 45% more damage per shot, and these shots are going to be great for dropping targets at longer ranges. Next up, we have 3 stat modifiers to choose from, the first of which is High Caliber Rounds, which is going to increase the ability to stun your targets, and you'll notice that in PvE a lot. You'll shoot something and it'll kind of flinch. Basically that's going to delay them from doing a melee attack or hitting you with one of their guns. This can certainly be an effective option for PvE. However, when you equip it, it looks like it increases the impact of your gun, which you think might increase the overall damage output. This will not actually increase the damage output of this weapon. The next stat modifier is Hammer Forged, which increases your range by 40 points and it reduces your reload by 10 points. Now again, we don't know exactly how much these points are actually worth in game, and my theory is that range is basically affecting the damage drop off with your weapon. You'll see that at extreme ranges you do a bit less damage than you're used to, and I imagine with better range on any gun you're going to be doing more damage at range. The description says it improves your accuracy. I can't find any evidence to this whatsoever in terms of actual bullet accuracy. It always seems like it's shooting exactly where the red dot is. Then we have Lightweight, which adds in 2 points to your character's agility, and if you can imagine that agility bar when it's completely full being 10 points of agility, that's actually a pretty decent amount of agility. And if you want to know how much faster that actually makes you in-game, you can check out a video that Dado Does Destiny posted. I'll link it in the video description, which kind of breaks down some of your character attributes. Of those 3 choices there, I haven't really made up my mind between Hammer Forged and Lightweight. Both of them are pretty effective. I think for the most part I've been running with Hammer Forged just because I really do like having the option to down people at extreme ranges with the Suros regime. And lastly, we have a weapon-specific upgrade on the Suros that is very similar to the commonly seen glass half full, which means the bottom half of your magazine does bonus damage. This also has the option to regenerate your health upon dealing damage with the bottom half of your magazine. Pretty amazing. However, this modifier actually does a bit better than glass half full. Glass half full in general has the option to increase your damage output by about 6% for the bottom half of your magazine. This one here scales up as it gets towards the last round, and you can do upwards of 70% damage on your last round. In fact, the last 3 bullets in your magazine almost do the same amount of damage as 5 normal bullets would. So make sure you use those last 3 bullets, especially in PvE when you know you're fighting a boss or something like that. Don't reload when you don't have to, because the bottom half of your mag is going to do a lot of extra bullet damage. So make sure you get as much as you can out of the ammo that you have available. In PvP, it becomes extremely useful when engaging multiple targets and you don't have enough time to reload between the second person. This can down them very, very quickly. It's incredibly good. Now, somebody who is using the Shinjin E auto rifle almost exclusively in Destiny, when I got the Suros regime and upgraded it a little bit, my eyes were just open to how much better certain guns could be, especially in PvP. It definitely raises some fundamental balance questions. I mean, everybody thought that the Iron Banner was supposed to be where players were able to play with their extremely good guns in PvP and kind of dominate people if you had a better weapon, but it seems like even in vanilla PvP there are certain guns that are just going to outdamage other weapons, and the Suros regime is certainly one of the better ones out there. The Vex Mytho class has been kind of turning some heads as of late because it just does insane damage in PvP and can pretty much outdamage any other gun in the game. Now, in terms of how to play with this weapon in PvP, I definitely engage at any single range available, but at long range especially, this gun is really effective and it's going to outdamage a lot of auto rifles out there. So it's a lot of fun to play with at the longer ranges. Absolutely aim for the headshots. You can down somebody in 4 or 5 headshots, so if you're a really good marksman, this gun will just drop people so stupidly fast it's going to make them kind of question just what the heck is going on. Now, the recoil control on the Suros regime is extremely easy to control, and if you have any problems with it whatsoever, you can start playing around with the stat modifiers, make it even easier to control, and just land those headshots one after another. Now, as for PvE with this gun, it is absolutely phenomenal. I took it on a raid the other day with Prime Guard, and it was just absolutely decimating all the Vex. It was a very easy gun to use, and the damage bonus at the end was really nice, especially for taking down some of the heavier hitting guys like the Minotaurs or even some of the bosses. Now, for those of you who don't yet have the Suros regime, I apologize because you're going to get wrecked by the Suros regime a lot until you get it, and probably a bit after you get it anyway. Again, the way I purchased it was from Zur for 23 strange coins. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the weapon anymore. Zur is a very reliable way to get exotic weapons, but you just don't know which one he's going to have every weekend. You can also get this as a random drop in PvP, you can get it during the raid, you can pretty much get it in a lot of different situations, but again, exotic weapon drops are extremely uncommon, so I apologize if you don't have this weapon yet, but if you do get it in the future, you will at least know how to upgrade it and what to expect. Let me know what you guys think about the PvP weapon balance, and if you think it's fair that some of these exotics seem to be so much better than the standard guns in the game, even for something that's supposed to be more balanced like PvP. As always guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. This is LevelCap, signing off.